Searching podcasts for Dave and One More Time.
You have found the Dave and Juan More Time podcast. If this is what you were looking for, congratulations. If this isn't what you were looking for, well, congratulations. This is your lucky day. Prepare to be entertained and informed. Now, you may not be entertained or informed, but at least you'll be ready. And that's half the battle. Most people aren't. But you're not most people, are you? So, again, congratulations, and you're welcome, America.
And 3.
Number 2.
1.
Woohoo!
America, take a deep breath and don't worry, we got you. We are back, and you are.
You're welcome.
100%. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave,
Got one.
and this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Yeah, voice is a little shot, man. I was in a, where was I? I was in a place called Boondoggles yesterday, which is a, it's a nice sort of sport kind of restaurant slash bar or whatever, for the Texans game, because my fantasy football league, whoever wins the league gets to choose where the end of the year kind of
Nice.
watch party's going to be. And unfortunately, I did not win it this year, so we had to drive our butts about an hour to the place, which was
Where is that place?
huh?
It's in Houston.
Nah, it's down. It's near Galveston. I forget the name of the name of the town. But granted, Houston is an hour from Houston. This is true.
I was in Houston
You were
all weekend.
you were, which is just so straight up on brand for Juan. He and I talk constantly, text constantly. I'm kind of falling off of why my voice is shot. I was screaming. We'll come back to that for the handful of Houston Texans fans out there, which is my second team. I'm a Saints. You got to be Saints because I was born and raised. But I'm Texas for 20-something years. I'm a season ticket holder, and anyway, so screaming at the screens yesterday. But so on brand for Juan that I don't know you're in town until your wife posts something on Facebook, and I'm like, no. He's in Houston.
Yeah, I was there till yesterday.
But here's why we are both the same. Did I text you?
No, I knew you knew I was there.
Did I reach out and say, hey, bro, while you're in town, how about we get it? No, I did not.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Because I know how it works. It's like you're there thinking, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm looking forward to having nothing. Like, I'm going to do this, and then I look forward to just being in a hotel room or being wherever, and I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm already busy doing nothing.
Myself, I had a few things, but I'm like, it'd be great. I see one all the time. Anyway.
I stay at the hotel that I stay because it's 2 blocks from the pool where my daughter swims.
Where was that, by the way? Where was
They're swimming at Houston, but there's a Hilton hotel on campus.
You stayed at that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I would stay.
Yeah, that's a good deal, man. That's almost relatively safe. No, it is. Well, let's put it this way. It's as safe as you are going to be in the University of Houston area.
Yeah. You pass through some pretty shady areas to get there.
And I mean, I'm not casting aspersions. I'm not. I'm from here. My son went to the University of Houston I think he went for 2.5, 3 years, but really he actually went to school for 2 years. I don't know what he was doing that third.
He had that me philosophy.
COVID messed everything up, and we go back and we sort of, you kind of try to, you forgive on that. At the time, I wasn't very forgiving. But now you're like, all right, I can see it. But so I knew I have not been on the University of Houston campus in maybe 3 years. I used to be on that campus a lot. I've been in that hotel in the Hilton, and and the reason there is a Hilton hotel literally on campus is because the University of Houston has one of the, I guess, largest, but maybe the most, I don't know if it's prestigious, but they have a hotel and restaurant management
Yeah, right.
curriculum. So you can get a degree in hotel and restaurant. And that's actually what my son started off in. Not that he ever wanted to do that, but my point is that just sounds good. I used to run that by a bunch of folks saying, well, what do you think about that? And they're like, yeah, that's a good degree. I could see, like, because man, if you can run a restaurant or a hotel,
Right. And good management experience there, man. You got a lot of people. No,
of course we all know you get experience with that, but you can't run any of these things
no.
until you
I was
actually
shocked though that
go out and run
every
it.
day they clean the room, come in, and I mean full on clean.
Yeah,
Not
well,
students. The students don't run that part of it. Yeah, it's
right, right.
because I got there Saturday after when we were on a break, and I was ready to watch whatever game was on first Saturday. And I see a lady in the room cleaning it. And I said, hey, I'm coming in here. You can keep doing what you're doing, but I'm going to sit right here and watch this game. She didn't understand a word I said, but yeah.
That's when you go down to the lobby, Juan. You go down to the, just
Nah, bro, I was good.
yeah, right. I'm gonna sit on the bed while you clean the
Yeah,
room.
I'm only using one of these beds. You go ahead and clean that other one. The one I'm using, I'll
That's
sit on this
not
one.
that's not creepy at all, dude. Not creepy at all. Now, where was your wife while you were doing this?
She was still at the meet. I only watch, I don't,
You're not there to support the team.
yeah,
You're there to support your daughter.
right.
Totally
Meets
get it.
last like forever. And it's like, all right, well, she's done swimming. I'm going back to the room.
I will give you that. I will give you that. We've talked about this before that my sons growing up participated in various about the only sport we never allowed them, and if they'd have pushed real hard, I guess we would have, but we never really let them do full on tackle football.
Hmm.
Just for whatever. No, and you know what? I don't know that they ever did baseball either. Baseball, and don't, hey, those of you out there that are baseball fanatics, don't take what I'm about to say the wrong way because you didn't grow up or Sugar Land, Texas, or the area I'm in. I just saw that our little league and our baseball attracted both some wonderful, wonderful people and some of the biggest chews you're ever going to see. I mean, because we have a ballpark, we have little league ballparks close enough to our house right here that you can hear, right? You can hear, and they were practicing at 8, 9, 9:30 at night on school nights and stuff. Kids, and
It's intense, man. You get in that travel ball world.
oh, that's a different world altogether. But so anyway, so you were
Anyway, yeah,
in
I was
Houston.
there, and I had been there for a while. It was, a multi-day meet. I was like, all right, I'm going back to the room for a while.
Well, good for you. And actually, one of these times, if it's there, shoot me. That's kind of because there's some kind of cool stuff around there. You know what I mean? But again, when it's an extended stay, totally get it. Because if you do tell me you're coming to town, there's always pressure on me to do something. See, that's the thing too.
100%.
That's why
100%.
that's
Likewise,
guys.
the pressure on me to do something with you.
100%. Because if you tell me you coming, then I'm obliged. And I'm telling you,
Right.
my wife be the same thing. You need to invite them over. And then I'm
No.
like, no, we don't. Because
Dude,
let me tell you,
again, outside of work, I spend more time locked in conversation with you
and
than any human being on earth.
yes,
Probably even my wife.
probably.
And I live with her.
And you know flat out how that works. No, no, no. If you invite somebody over, it's 2 days of prepping.
Yeah.
Even if we're just saying, hey, they're just going to be walking in. No, this has to be right. This has to be, you have to have something to offer. You have to, and I'm like, that's a lot of stress, right? And it's also stress when you're the one doing it. Like when you're popping in or like, oh, we're going just like you, man. I'd rather, when people tell me they're coming to
This is
town,
good.
I'd rather pay for a friend or family member's hotel room. It's probably less work for me and almost as cheap to just put you in a hotel, right?
And look, it's just effort. I mean, because then it's like, we had lunch like at 2 o'clock, and then it's like, where are we going to dinner? And that's dinner. We just had lunch.
Just had lunch.
How about I just stay in the hotel? Y'all go to dinner.
Correct. Enjoy that. But you know what? That's okay too. You know what I mean? That's where you hopefully get to with more mature marriages where you just say, you know what? We don't have to be joined at the hip. In fact, I am happy when you're happy.
So,
Right? Whatever you're
but
doing
yeah,
that's
I'll
making
take
you
this.
happy.
I'll take this full circle to where we started. So we went yesterday morning. We went to church, and then we went to breakfast. And one of my daughter's friends came with us, and she is from Houston. She's a swimmer.
Okay.
Massive, massive Texans fan.
Oh boy, she had a great day yesterday.
And I was asking her as we were walking into church. I said, "Well, how do you think they're gonna do it?" I mean, she dropping stuff like, "Oh well, I don't think." What's the quarterback from
C.J.
Patriots? May?
Stroud.
No, she was talking about is it May? What's the quarterback
Oh,
from
yeah, Drake May up in New
Drake? May
England.
said, "Yeah, I don't think he's seen a defense like ours." And she's dropping names and everything of defenders and stuff. I said, "Well, you
Will
go ahead,
Anderson
girl."
Jr. Oh yeah, no. And you know what? That part was correct. That part was correct. The defense showed up ready to win a game. More than I mean, like dominating. Yeah, I don't want to because it's well, in the text chain with the guys I was with yesterday. It was kind of funny. One of my good friends, I think he was getting mad at me for just speaking the obvious, because that's how I am. I mean, like midway through, not even midway, beginning of the second quarter, I was like, man, CJ, he has to fake an injury or something. Like if I'm the
What didn't
coach,
he like? I don't know. Threw three interceptions on
four.
about five passes. It felt like.
Yeah. He threw four interceptions in the first half.
And that's
Four.
what, so we were driving home. So I'm watching the game on my phone. And my wife was driving, and she kept, I would just, it felt like every 30 seconds, I'm like, Jesus Christ, interception again.
Listen, you should have seen what it was like in this again this bar where we were. You got screens everywhere, a bunch of eight big TVs all around us. Everybody's, which by the way is so much more fun watching a game that way, y'all. I mean, I'm a season ticket holder, and I love tailgating, but it just is, man. It's better watching a game on a screen, eating decent food, drinking beer, than being in the stadium, unless you're like in a suite or
Oh,
you're big.
heck yeah.
Okay. But so yeah, no, those.
But
So
then
yeah,
this, because of it, an apology to non-football fans, but the, because of what happened with the Broncos, you just felt that yesterday
was the
was the
AFC
AFC
Championship game.
championship. It's like, all right, man, whoever wins this game is going. Now I'm not sure the Broncos can't hold up.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see those of you again. Those of you that aren't into NFL football, bear with us for a little bit. What we're going on here is so the Buffalo Bills and supposedly Superman Josh Allen, the greatest human being to ever put on a uniform, and who I think is the best quarterback in the league, by the way.
They fired their coach this morning.
They fired their coach because what are you going to do? Josh Allen is an amazing guy. He didn't play that well in Denver.
He had several turnovers too.
He was not Superman. And nobody believes in Denver, including me. But apparently, hey, the record is the record. New Orleans Saints fans, you either love or hate Denver because Sean Payton is now the coach of the Broncos. And
Right. Former
here's
kicker
what
of
I
the
have.
Saints.
Here's
Won
what
the
I have
game in overtime.
realized. I don't know if I realized this or just was reminded of it. Sean Payton is a chew. I mean, that guy's an arrogant chew. But when he's your chew, hey,
That's right.
now when he's on another team, okay. So Denver ends up winning the game, everybody. Very tight game, goes into overtime. Denver wins, and the play before last, or the one anyway, they do a rollout with their quarterback, Bo Nix, who's had a great great year. And apparently the young man broke a bone in his ankle on.
I think it was on the kneel down.
It wasn't. They've come
Okay.
back on that. I think it may
Okay.
have hurt more. In other words,
Well, they said the second to last play, and I'm like, okay, do they mean the second to last play, not counting the kick?
No. I think what may have happened if he came up lame or hurting on the kneel down, it was because he had a broken bone in his ankle.
And realized
He broke the bone, and you'll do that, y'all. I've had a broken bone that I didn't know it. I mean, that happens. Okay. And especially when you got adrenaline going and everything.
Oh yeah, they've had NFL players who broke a femur.
Yeah. But into the game. So they kick a game-winning field goal. Congratulations. You're going to the AFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. So that's what happens next week. You got 4 teams left, and the winners of the 2 games next week go to the Super Bowl. So congratulations, you just won the game. Oh, by the way, your starting quarterback who's taking every
Right,
snap.
because he did the post game, like he did the on-field interview and stuff. Looks fine.
People thought it was fake news. They was like,
I did because
no.
my son, who was with us Saturday, we're driving around going to dinner after the game, and he says Bo Nix broke his ankle, and I said, "Where are you getting that from?"
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, "Why can't you just believe me?" And I said,
Because it
"Because there's
sounds
a lot of
ridiculous.
fake crap out there, more sports fake enough
Yes.
now than ever."
Yes, because you're getting your news off the phone, and we all hey, listen, don't
Right.
get me wrong. The phone, I trust the phone more than I trust anything I see on channel 4, 6, or 8, which is whatever. That's we grow up with 4, 6.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that game yesterday, my Texans against the hated Patriots, because we all hate the Patriots. And kudos to them. You want to be the team everybody hates.
Yeah.
Nobody hates terrible teams, right? If you got a lovable team and everybody roots for you, it's probably because you suck. Okay, teams that are successful over time and they cheat. Well, guess what? They all cheat. Everybody cheats. Okay. Um. Anyway, the game came down to probably with that news. Dang, whoever wins this game gets to go to Denver and play a backup quarterback to go to the Super Bowl. So we went into that thinking, here we go. And I was a little tentative because those of you that don't keep up with this, CJ Stroud, our quarterback, who they've been telling us is he's our future. He sucked last week. I mean,
Right.
we
Hadn't he
won in
had
spite
more
of him last week.
interceptions between, I think he tied his number of interceptions yesterday that he had for the whole season.
It was bad. It was bad. But so I knew going in, that was our fear. Kind of jinxed it because I said, I don't know if it's possible that he could play worse than he did last week. Well,
DJ said, "Hold my beer."
hold my beer. Lo and behold. And you could just see, man. You could see when they would show the close up. And this is where it wasn't good to be in a bar where you're watching stuff on TVs, is that in the stadium, before he takes a snap, hell, we can't see him. I can't see his face. I can't see what's going on. On TV, you can see deer in
He
the
looked
head.
so defeated sitting on the bench early on in the game.
Well, that's the other thing. Ball, I'm sorry that this became a sports talk show, guys, but that's the other thing you can see. Hey, man, you go to the sideline. I know it's cold, and I know you got to bundle up and everything. Who are you talking to? Where are the coaches? Why are the coaches are not in your ear? Why are you not walking around to the team and saying, "Hey, man, my bad. I got like what? Why are you like a kid? Why are you going to sit on the bench? You are an NFL quarterback with all kinds of endorsements. I don't know how much money he cost himself a bunch of money. Let me tell you that he's got an extension. They can either extend him this offseason.
Oh, he's in a contract year.
Yep, that ain't good. So next year is his last year. On
Right. So he's on his
rookie contract.
So this year they could extend it
They
already.
can extend them, but I don't know what's going to happen there. So anyhow, so it was I knew it was, and that's when I think one of my friends got mad at me when I was just like, I don't even know the words that came out of my mouth. I was so mad. It was the play that they ran some play, and you could see the guy was like sweeping around the guy he was going to dump the ball to. Well, that guy tripped on an offensive line and fell. Dude fell. So there's the play. What does he do? He stares at the guy on the ground like, you think he's going to get up in time to throw this? And then here's the deal, Juan. If you'd have grabbed somebody out of the stadium or me, an old guy, I don't even know the play, right? But if I'm there and I see the only guy apparently I was going to throw the ball to, fell down, I'm either taking a knee or I'm throwing that ball as far as I can out of bounds. Know what I'm not doing? I'm not just weakly floating something in the general area that, by the way, was caught. Unfortunately, it was caught by somebody wearing the other uniform.
Right. It's like, throw it at him. I'm gonna hit you with the ball for falling down.
Who proceeded to score a touchdown, and that was basically game over. I mean, I'd say not game over right there, but it was like that was so disheartening. Where
it wasn't just the interceptions. He badly missed players who were wide open.
He got somebody hurt at the end of the game, and I'm not even I'm not even sure the guy's name, and I should. I mean,
Got hurt because he jerked back to catch the
correct. That
ball.
guy. I hope he didn't tear an ACL or whatever it was, but that was a guy that was actually trying. It was into the game, and he was actually trying to do everything he could to help his team. And he's running. I mean, as fast as he can on a whatever you call it,
An out route,
an out route.
basically.
And CJ threw so far behind him that he had to just like put on the brakes and
Yeah, he
try
basically locked up his legs to reach behind him.
Yeah. So a different version of hospital ball. So anyway, so sorry about the ranting and raving there, guys. But so anyway, that's why I was a little hoarse to start because we were screaming bloody murder. Saints fans, those of you that, because I know most of, we got big, Louisiana Saints fans. Compare it to the time that the Saints had the best record in the NFC. Bobby was the quarterback. We had Ricky Jackson. We had Pat Swilling. We had Vaughn Johnson. And who's the fourth linebacker? I'm forgetting.
Pat Swilling.
Did I say Swilling?
And Mills.
Mills.
Mills, Johnson, Swilling, and Jackson.
Correct. So we had the Dome Patrol.
Dome Patrol.
We had Dalton Hilliard, if I'm remembering right. I want to say again, Bobby was the quarterback. I want to say, was Martin? Was it
Eric Martin?
Okay. We had the best record in the NFC. That was we finally had a better record than San Francisco because they were in our division back then.
Division at the time.
We got a home game against the Vikings. Dude, we were going to roll the Vikings. We were going to destroy the Vikings. And I remember sitting watching that game, and we got destroyed from start to finish. The minute I'm sorry that I'm bringing back some post traumatic
stress,
PTSD to some of you Saints fans, but I remember that game. That was our best year. We were so proud, man. We were going win, and we got destroyed. And I ended up on weirdly enough on a plane many years later. Talk about random. I might have told you the time, but I ended up sitting next to Jumpy Gathers.
Oh wow!
On a plane, and it wasn't on first class. I was sitting on the exit row, and it wasn't a very full flight. And he had some seat way in the back as himself, and he ended up coming up like I had entire exit row empty. I had no idea who he was, and this huge guy. That guy was big, bro. He had a tank top on. I remember that. It was summer. He had a tank top, man. I'm talking about. Google Jumpy Gathers and look how big that son of a gun was. He won a Super Bowl with the Redskins, I think. So he sits down and we just start chatting and because that's back before all of us had, cell
right,
phones.
You did, right.
We had cell phones. We didn't have screens. We didn't have
have smartphones.
Yeah, I don't even think we even had. I don't even know if we had iBuds. I mean,
iBud. Oh, dude, you didn't know. You had a speakerphone.
So you actually had to sit and you talk to people a lot. And we started, and my go-to thing was always, hey, man, how you doing? And I always say, are you leaving home or going home? That was always the
good opener. I like that.
You leaving home or going home? And I remember he said, a little bit of both. A little bit of both. He says, I have a play, and we're going to Atlanta. We're leaving Houston, going to Atlanta. He goes, I have some stuff here, but I actually live in Atlanta. And he said, how about you? And I said, well, I was working and I'm whatever. And so I'm talking a little bit. And he says, where are you from? And I said, you wouldn't know where I'm from. He says, where are you from? And I said, I'm from a place called Cutoff, Louisiana. Without missing a breath, Jumping Together says, Bobby Hebert. And I'm like, how the hell do you know Bobby Hebert? I played with Bobby. And I'm like, okay, now I'm embarrassed, man. Who are you? And, dude, it was fun. We talked the entire dang flight. And he talked about that game. And he basically said that was a coaching job. He said that was, I'm pretty sure he was on that team. I'm pretty sure. Well, I should know that, huh? But I can't remember if he was on the field, he was on that team, or he just knew, But I remember talking specifically about that. He goes, "Oh yeah, man." He says the New Orleans coaching staff was completely outcoached that game. It's like Minnesota knew what they were doing, and they didn't. So sorry, we're just reliving painful sports moments, y'all.
Well, so. Talking about Louisiana connection to sports. We also, during the afternoon game, or the early evening game, I guess. So, because my daughter goes to the University of Houston, my wife has to be a University of Houston fan.
But of course.
Whatever. So
you're not, you don't have to be. That's her job. Yeah.
Right. I was watching the football game, but for her, I realized I could do the split screen and have the University of Houston basketball game on yesterday. And yeah, my daughter's at the game, so that made it more interesting for her
Sure.
to watch it. You remember Master P?
Oh yeah, man.
His son plays for University of Houston.
Oh geez. All right.
So Master P's real name is Percy Miller.
Correct. Okay.
His son's name, who apparently is a decent ball player, Mercy Miller.
Mercy
Mercy.
Miller.
Mercy Miller.
Mercy Miller. All right.
So they were talking, and I don't know, because when the football game would go to a commercial, if you ever watch split screen, you just have obviously audio for one. So I'd switch to the audio for the second one. And I just heard him say, "Oh, I thought they said something about Master P going to the games," and then said something about son. So I had to Google that. But yeah. So Mercy Miller, son of rap mogul and terrible sports agent, Master P.
That goes back to the time. Who did he have? He had Ricky Williams, right?
Yeah, Ricky Williams, dude. Ricky Williams signed the worst rookie contract in the history of rookie contracts.
But it was only appropriate because the Saints did the worst trade in the history of trades.
Yeah.
Mike Ditka gave away basically the draft.
Their entire draft class to get Ricky Williams, which also meant, that was before the days of, the rookie contracts used to be big then. You could make some big money on your
You could make big
contract.
money, but Ricky did.
It was all incentive based.
And he went
for the minimum and all incentive based.
And he went to play for a horrible team. And guess what happens when you
achieve no incentives?
No incentives. So now to his credit, Ricky later in life had a pretty decent career. He was around for a long time.
Yeah, played with Miami. Played well with Miami.
When he
took
could
a couple breaks to smoke some pot.
Correct. He was a pot. And he's one of these things. I am not a pro pot person at all. I think it's really a very net negative. But apparently, there's some people that it benefits, and he apparently was always dealing with like depression and stuff. And I mean,
had some big time depression issues.
So people, and get me wrong. I mean, the way I'm wired now, it's like, you know what do I trust more? The pharmaceutical company giving you whatever the heck it is that's altering your chemistry, or all right, bro, whatever, knock yourself out, literally, I guess. But anyway, so there you go. Well, we covered some sports here, Juan.
Covered some sports.
Let's see what else let's see what well, okay, I got to close on that. The national championship is tonight.
Yep.
I
don't want either of those teams to win.
Right. I actually won Indiana.
Number two, I know, but Indiana, and we've talked about this. I went from being like totally impressed with their quarterback's personality to being totally annoyed by his personality, which is just me.
Yeah, he's like I said, Indiana's got the Heisman Trophy winner. He is extremely polished when he speaks.
Sounds very well coached.
Annoyingly so.
Media training.
He strikes me as a theater kid, man. He's very expressive, very but you know what? He's a hell of a quarterback and more power to him.
Dude can gun the ball.
Probably going to be the top pick in the draft. Hopefully he's not going to have an incentive-based program. He'll just get paid. But yeah, Indiana. So by the time you're watching this, guys, we may be going up. This may post tonight at the same time. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see.
The game may be on while this is.
We typically record on the weekend.
But we're doing this on a Monday.
During the day, I'm off of work because it's Martin Luther King Day. Early morning, April 4, a shot rings out in the Memphis sky.
All right. You too.
Free at last. They took your life, but they could not
take your pride. In the name of love.
I know more MLK history because of that song.
It's true. This is true. Well, that and the fact, I mean, your kids are about my kids' age too. When they were coming up through school. Well, Chris Rock made jokes about this. It's not a unique perspective here. All they learned was MLK. They couldn't tell you anything about the forefathers. They couldn't tell you jack about, only presidents they ever heard of was Washington and Lincoln. All right. You'd swear, right, that like, I remember when I was in third grade, they taught us the presidents, man. We learned, and I can't do it now. I used to be able to go from Washington all the way to, I guess it was Nixon. Nixon must have been in office. Nixon and maybe to Ford. But I used to be able to give you all the presidents, bro.
I don't think I ever could do that.
Oh, I could. But kids today, maybe
Oh
Washington,
gosh, no, no.
maybe Lincoln,
It's
and of course Obama. You know, they all, that's
but still, there's um a young man I work with, great guy. I've talked about him before. Went to Nichols, is African American guy, and he was talking about something where I don't know. We do this thing where once a month they do a newsletter, and it's random who they pick to be featured, and it's one of the questions they ask is who, living or dead, who would you like to have lunch with or whatever? And he said Malcolm X.
okay.
Nobody in the office but me knew who Malcolm X was.
Yeah, I
And he
man,
admittedly says, good guy, bad guy.
go watch
Played both roles.
Well, hey, I got news for you. That's pretty much everybody you talk about, good guy, bad
Yeah.
guy. And what happens is over time, you are forbidden to talk to actually talk about the bad stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's
Oh
an
yeah,
angel,
yeah,
man.
yeah. That's a lot of bad stuff.
Man, let me tell you something. Oh boy. And even as an adult, I mean, well into adulthood, like, my 40s and 50s, I learned stuff that, like, wait a minute. Nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever, but it's all coming, look, man. And that's the thing. Internet, bro. They got a lot of nonsense out there,
Well,
but
and I asked him the other day if because we joked one time, this is our new joke. There was some day when we were trying to figure out when was MLK Day, and he said, "Oh, it's the 19th." And I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yep, third month, the third Monday of January." And I said, "You sure it's that day?" And he laughed and he said, "Trust me on this." He said, "I'm not sure of a lot of things, but I'm sure of that." But so the other day I asked him, I said, "So what'd you think?" I said, "What you think about Jesse Jackson's involvement in the assassination of
oh,
Martin Luther King?" He was all in on that. I said, "You need to talk to Dave," because he said there used to be a tree there,
yeah. Oh,
and they had it cut down and everything, like
no,
evidence that
listen.
that's
And
where the
that, and
guy
like,
would have been.
and this is not even passing judgment on whatever side you're on, whether you thought, okay. No, there's no doubt. There's no doubt the government was involved in killing that guy. That wasn't that redneck, whatever. He may have been there. He may have been like he may have thought he was doing something, but even the hotel that he stayed in was not supposed to be. They'd sent cops home. It's incredible the amount of the logistics that had to be pulled off to make it possible, almost like what they did to Trump in what was
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, what was it again? Not Latrobe. Gosh
No,
darn it.
does it begin with a B?
Bum, bum, bum.
I
Funny
don't
how
know.
things all of a sudden just
Yeah.
how fast it goes there. But yeah, man, you look at it and you realize, oh, wait a minute, you had to move heaven and earth and have pretty sophisticated logistics to get this guy killed. Which is what they tried to, again, what they tried to do again. Don't get me. Well, I guess we are started. But so anyway, same thing with Malcolm X. Go watch the Denzel movie. Watch the
Mhm.
there's always, there's good to bad to everybody. Some people apparently you are allowed to point out the bad things. Some people you apparently are not. Uh, Look at JFK. Look at Kennedy. And I'm a guy that grew up probably more anti JFK than a lot of people. I just was always, I always knew the negative stuff. Later on in life, I'm like, he had some stuff that you wouldn't approve of, but at least he was American. Like at least he was on our team. I mean, he might have been doing a lot of skeezy stuff on the side, but I
It was
think
all
he was,
personal.
yeah, he was Team America. You know, I'm sorry. You give me Kennedy or Clinton or either Bush or Obama. All right. Which one you think is most, Team America? I'm going Kennedy. I think, that's probably why they shot him. Right. That's all right. The thoughts and opinions expressed by David and Juan are theirs and theirs alone. And, we love everybody. We just don't trust certain, don't always trust what you've been told.
Well, sticking in the politic realm, but not so much. We talk every now and then about, Louisiana's governor and how all the problems here must be solved because he's got a lot of other things going on. I didn't realize we had Louisiana Doge and
Oh,
the
okay.
Department of Government Efficiency here, and they found hundreds of millions of dollars. Um, and a lot of it was like in SNAP and Medicaid benefits going to people who didn't qualify for that. But
Yep.
this goes to show you how divided the world is on a political spectrum. So the news media posts that they've got that, and it's, oh yeah, but we're not getting that money. That's all federal money, and it's, that money going back to the federal government. So he's not helping us. Where do you think the federal money government gets their money, you moron?
It really is, man. It really is. And
Well,
I will
because
give.
if you're against the person politically or you're against the person's political party, everything that person does.
That's sort of a joke, almost a meme that people say, now watch Trump get the other side to defend this.
Yeah.
Like if you step back sometimes and realize, that's where, just you can step back and say, okay, listen, I disagree with this. I don't even think this guy's a good person, but you know what? A broken clock is right twice a day kind of deal. It's like, okay, that's not a heaven help us. Like we said, it's Fetterman. Fetterman's the voice of reason sometime on some of these things. Oh, look, it's funny you say that. So let me pull it up here. I had a couple pages here. And I recommend to anybody, too, because I was reading a story from the New York Times today, which I try not to do, but I was, because I try, as opposed to some people, I want to hear.
Yeah, I'll go read it.
Okay. So this one was talking about Minnesota. Minnesota's all messed up. But in New York, now this one's not from the Times. This is from the New York Post. Notoriously fraudulent NY health program lost $1.2 billion to scammers. Basically, they're saying as bad as Minnesota is, New York right now is times 10. And I read this thing here. Okay. This is a news story, y'all. This is not me making this up. All right. Just this is the kind of world we're living in right now. Those of you that are busting your tail to work and you get your paycheck and you look at you don't get all your money because the government needs it. You got it right? Taking advantage of a generous New York State program to aid his ailing mother, Bilal Hussein, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, signed up a dozen family members to work as her caregivers. Okay, so apparently you can sign up your family members to get paid to take care of a family member. Over 6 years, they were paid $348,000 to look after the elderly woman at a Manhattan apartment. Okay, so these people made $340-something thousand, supposedly.
Or collectively.
Well, even if it's collectively, okay? But here's where the story gets even more
there's
interesting.
6 of them doing it, so it's a part-time gig.
Yeah, but Juan, here's the kicker. Except the mom was in Bangladesh the entire time. Incredibly, Hussein got away with the fraud by having his brother pose as their sick mother for whenever inspectors showed up before finally being caught. All right.
That's his gender.
Dude, that is going on all. And I got one here. Farah Rubani, who's the former CEO of a Brooklyn-based Hopton Care. She was charged with defrauding $11 million in Medicaid funds and using the cash to treat her and her New York Police Department officer husband. You got to love this, right? She's embezzling, she's cheating with her cop husband to a lavish vacation home and a $250,000 Bentley. Like, they're not even hiding it.
Dude, they make LaToya Jackson look, not LaToya Jackson, LaToya Cantrell look like an amateur.
LaToya Cantrell, so like she has actually turned out to me to be the new Mayor Moreno. That must be her best friend or her best thing, because I was not predisposed to like Moreno. A couple things I'm like, you seem kind of a little bit flighty to me. Maybe it's an age thing. You're always doing the selfie videos and stuff. But then I guess the more I think about it, it's like, I guess that's how the world communicates.
That's
now.
the market.
Okay. So, and I know, and oh my gosh, the fact that they had Kamala Harris to.
Yeah, that kind of ticked me off.
What was that? That was sort of like, to me, that is so freaking blind. It's like, listen, you're new coming in, and there are a lot of folks.
You're the new guard.
And there are people that really want to see the state of Louisiana and New Orleans, work a little bit closer. Even people, regardless, of what side of the aisle you're on, you want New Orleans to succeed. You want this new person coming in. It's like, yeah, okay, I know you're going to be, you're a liberal, and that's fine because that's all you got in New Orleans anyway. But do you really need to bring one of the most divisive people in to do the swearing? I just don't see
into a community that needs uniting.
I don't get that, so it's like, who is that done for? But that said, okay, which I think that was just, for somebody who is so media savvy, for someone who is so, right, that seems like that's an unforced error. Okay.
Right. Let the attention be on you, not who's swearing you in.
Correct. But you got to love LaToya. Oh my gosh, she's just the gift that keeps on giving. LaToya and her team, whoever they were, like locked out the social media.
Yeah, she couldn't post that picture of, on Facebook.
The incoming mayor of New Orleans was not given access to the. Now, eventually she got it, but oh my gosh, I mean, but hey, New Orleans or whoever, I don't even believe. This is where I am. Conspiracy theorist. I don't believe New Orleans, the citizens of New Orleans actually voted for LaToya. I mean, it's stolen and rigged like anything else, and that's most major cities in America. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some rural towns everywhere that you got the establishment that basically controls everything. But I see this here in Houston. I used to get all mad at Houston saying, how in the world can Houston continue to elect some of the morons that Houston, elects? And I realized, oh, they're not really. It's all stolen. It's all the dead people voting. It's all the
you go pay to get votes. You bring, or whatever.
And the greatest trick in the world is
talked about. Where was it? Where it's you could verify 6 friends eligible to vote.
And the greatest trick in the world is, we're gonna get that vote count to you in a couple 3 days. We got to figure out that's the one. That's the one that gets me all the time. It's like, oh wait, we can't finish counting the votes.
Yeah, American Idol can count millions of votes in a commercial break.
But don't worry, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them counted as soon as we get about 0.5 to 1% above. Yeah, we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it. But anyway, so that's that. You mentioned Jeff and Greenland. I wonder if they told Jeff before he said, "Okay, I'll do Greenland." If they told him how, like, this is getting serious. This is becoming a.
Well, the stuff you talked about last week, Dave, I think you broke some news here because I saw on national news the whole sterilization aspect of the indigenous people of Greenland. I saw that in a couple of national media outlets this week.
Because finally people started getting covered there, and I'm trying to think of who covered it. This one is actually the Post. I got this one here, the story. Yeah. Let me because I pulled it up today. That's the thing. And Juan, I'm just like, I'm guessing I'm like you. I'm sure you like me. Before we talked about Greenland, we have, don't put a gun to my head and ask me to find it on the map. At least before.
Dude, I had to look it up.
We hear Greenland, and when you hear Greenland, what do you probably think of? You probably think of like Vikings.
Yeah.
Right? Well, most people think about, and it's not. It's the natives to Greenland are more, I don't say Indian. It's more the native population.
Right.
Okay?
I would have never thought that Greenland had people that you would still label as indigenous to Greenland.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I want to say there's only like 55,000 of them.
Yeah.
Or something. So Denmark, and any of you that have, don't get me wrong, I might have Danish in me. I don't know. You might. Who knows? Okay. People are people.
All Cajun, baby.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, everybody that wants to pretend that the United States is like the worst thing ever and we're all, about Denmark. And we hear Denmark, you know what I'm saying? If somebody says Denmark to you, what do you think? Oh, they make chocolates? What do they do?
It's all peace and, isn't that the Netherlands and,
Hey man, they're vile as anything else. They've been using the indigenous people in Greenland as dang near an experiment, just like so this is in Nuuk, N-U-U-K. I don't know if you say it Nuuk, how would you say it? Nuuk, Greenland. Native Greenlander. Her name is Amarok Peterson. She was 27 years old when she learned the gut-wrenching truth about why she couldn't have children. All right, understand this, y'all. This is a woman, a Greenland, whatever, and that Denmark was to blame. So Denmark has been controlling Greenland for all this time. She says, suffering from severe uterine problems, a medical doctor discovered an IUD birth control device in her body that she didn't know she had. Right? policy of Denmark with the indigenous people, the women in Greenland, was they were putting in birth control in them, not to have them reproduce. Because how do you keep down the cost of taking care of a population?
Don't let it reproduce.
Danish doctors had implanted it when she was just 13 as part of a population control program for thousands of native Greenlandic girls and women. She said, I will never have children. Tears of anger. That choice was taken from me. While the government of Denmark officially apologized last year for decades of forced sterilization.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. The horrific mistreatment cast a long shadow on the island that has become the center of an international ownership fight. And it goes on. So just on that one, y'all. All right. So, oh, no. Denmark should control.
Yeah, maybe we don't deserve it. I don't know, but I know who doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, but I got news for you. And the reason that now that Trump and whoever, and they're all, because it's, hey, America, those of you that don't pay attention, if the United States does not get control, and call it whatever you want to call control of Greenland, it ain't staying in Denmark, y'all. China's going to take it.
China and Russia.
Or Russia. And sadly, it's becoming more. It's not China or probably China and.
But do you think, was that going on before? Or is that now, since Trump has made a big deal out of it, they're saying, hey, screw you, we want it now?
I think from what I can tell, China and Russia are already making moves on it. Now it's kind of funny. Europe and Trump, and that's what annoys a lot of people, because people have this memory of what Europe was like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and that's not what's there today. And Trump looks at, like, okay, France, England, even Germany, you got nothing military. You're broke to start off with. Germany's maybe the least broke of all of them, but and then they sign these deals where, they get all their energy from Russia. That was always, I give Trump credit for that, when he's sitting at the table saying, what are you guys doing? Are you out of your mind? You're claiming, so anyhow, we got to the point where we've pushed Russia to the point that they had this powerful guy, I forget his name, from Russia, doing interviews basically saying, yeah, if this keeps up, we're going to nuke Germany and London. I mean, the guy is saying it. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, this is you can hate Trump all you want. You can hate his policies. But the reality is, at least from his assessments of things, he ain't wrong.
No.
He's not wrong a whole lot. Like I said, you can disagree with his methods, disagree with his politics. The dude ain't wrong about a lot. And
again, it's like you said you finally saw during the week some breaking, people are starting to report on what Denmark did to, and I think maybe because the other side is getting a little smarter at, hey, getting the news out there. And then Trump just rolls out and said, hey, I tell you what, and he lists all the European countries. And we're going to slap a 10% tariff on anything you want to sell here starting on February if you guys get in the way or stop this Greenland thing. Well, guess what happened to the stocks of European car makers and everything? It all starts. And now they're going to pretend, that's the other thing I was reading today, they're going to fight back with their tariffs. And it's like, stop it, man. It's like if those of you that used to play the game of Risk, right? And you built up your armies and stuff, and gets to a point, man, you can fight all you want. You're not in this game, y'all. You're gonna lose. It's weirder, man. Hey, don't blink on Canada. Apparently, China they're doing stuff north of Canada. It's bizarro world. But look, I don't know. I don't think either side is always right. But I guess pay attention when you see people defending things that are just clearly wrong, right? Or clearly anti-American or anti, I don't even say anti-American. I say more like anti-taxpayer, right?
Common sense.
Hey, I don't care who you are. When you hear a story about somebody getting paid $300-something thousand through, and money's fungible, y'all. You can't say, oh, that's New York and that's New York money. No, man. So much of your federal goes into New York, goes into.
And who do you think bails out a state when it's in trouble financially?
Right. And when the U.S. government, and I read something the other day, and I don't know what the numbers would be, but people basically saying, I'm getting the feeling that our deficit is almost all fraud. If you step back, and because I've always been that way too, like they're telling me that Social Security is going bankrupt. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just fraud. How about that? How about we
Yeah.
Stop.
So if Social Security's going bankrupt, it's because we use the money for other stuff.
That's part of it. We do use it for other stuff, but we also have people that are on various things that aren't supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's my thing too. Like you talk about healthcare. Well, they totally broke healthcare, and I got way more background on that than I care to share. But the whole healthcare system and insurance, they totally broke it. People,
No, right. It's the whole thing. And health, the cost of healthcare is not going up.
I'm
Um,
sorry, it's doing what?
the cost of healthcare, as they talk about in the news, is not going up. It's the who's paying for it is the cost is shifting. Granted,
Right.
it's going up, but it's not the whole government funding aspect of it is just shifting.
But the actual game, if you ever seen y'all, whenever there's something done, and some of you are painfully aware of this, like what the hospitals and doctors charge, and what they got negotiated with an insurance, it's this numbers are staggering. And then who decides what gets written up? But they all getting paid. They're all making, and I'm not even talking bad about, that's my thing. It's like, man, I want to be able to trust my doctors, and I want to trust the hospitals, and I want to trust everybody. But every time you turn around, it's like, wait a minute, I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. When you read about a guy lining up family members getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to take care of a person
Who
who's
don't
in
even live in this
Bangladesh,
country.
if that don't make you mad, or
Right.
if you got to figure out a way to blame somebody on the other side, and maybe it is their fault. I don't know. I mean, just, you said about Doge in Louisiana. Hey, go at it, man.
Right. But we'll go ahead and criticize the guy who's finding it as
Oh,
opposed to the people who are abusing it.
Yo, that's always been the way, unfortunately, so many of our human minds work. We get more mad at the people who point out that you're being lied to than you are to the people who are
Right.
lying to
Because
you.
you don't want to give him credit for his success.
Or whoever. And I'm not just saying Jeff, I'm talking about that's just
Right.
in general. That's just in general. Like if you're the person who tells somebody that the husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating on them, they get mad at you.
Yeah.
Right? They get mad at you for saying, hey, like it's you that made no, I'm just to be fair, this is what's going on. How dare you? We deal with so much of that. So the other thing we're talking, it's sort of statewide. You see the story where LSU students are facing mounting accusations of AI cheating.
Yeah.
Okay, and I got a simple attitude about that. Cry me a river, universities. Cry me a river, professors. That's the world we're in right now.
My daughter told me over the weekend, so she starts class tomorrow, and there's one of her professors has said, yeah, you can use AI.
You need to. You freaking need to. And anybody out there that's fighting it, let me tell you something. That's laziness. That's absolute laziness. Because they also want to poison us right now, saying, "Oh, you can't trust AI because it could give this," and all these horror stories about this is what you could do to chat and this is what you can do to the grok. Yeah, you can manipulate anything you want eventually, but you're out of your mind if you don't think that is it's not the future. It's the present. It's
Mm-hmm.
the present. Okay, and it's just like anything else. It's like, okay, with us, maybe 1,000 years ago, it was calculators. They didn't want. I mean,
It's all been. And I may have said this last week. Somebody I posted on, a guy I know who's saying, "What do everybody think about AI?" Blah 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 blah. It's so controversial or it's so hard to trust. I said, you know what? People said the same thing about automobiles.
yeah, name it. Yeah.
They said the same thing about television. They said the same thing about email. They said the same thing about the internet. It's said the same thing about Google. It's all
Right.
technology that sure it all can be used for wrong.
Well, they tried to. They
But if
tried
you
to
don't get
protect.
with it, you're going to be behind.
They tried to protect
You're still riding a
libraries.
horse.
Yeah, remember, like, he used to be, oh, you can't Google that. You can't Google that. Well, why not? Like,
Yeah.
and I can remember back 1,000 years ago, it seems, when Google set out to just digitize every book in the world. It's basically what
Hmm.
they start. Now there are deeper things with AI, which I don't know that we got to come to grips with. One is that AI of the various, whether it's chat, whether it's and kudos to chat and to Grok for being the only two that anybody really know. When there are dozens of
Right,
AI
right.
out there. It is the greatest trademark and copyright infringement thing ever. So it basically it's scanning and it's plagiarizing. Basically, is what it's doing. It's not not yet. It's not sentient yet. Is that what it's sentient or sentient? I hear.
I don't even. I've heard the word. I don't know what it means.
That's one of those words you hear and you know what it means. Ah, you know what it means. Essentially, it means you can think for yourself. It's alive. Okay. I don't think it's quite there yet. It gets close. It can fool some people. Um, but yeah, that is an issue. As anybody who creates information or creates art or creates whatever, uh, it kind of steps on all of that. It doesn't appear to honor trademarks that well or
Well, and that's some
copyrights.
of the stuff where I work because the for most people, ChatGPT is blocked. I said I use it for ideation. Um, my boss uses it. He's built his own. It's through ChatGPT, but he's
Right.
built his own. He calls it, our brand GPT, and it's got all the brand standards, got our voice and
Yeah.
everything. Uh, but at work, they rather us use whatever one is the Microsoft one.
Okay.
So he's building one for that. But the thought is, okay, well, it's taking your information. And
No, those are all
at a
concerns.
financial institution, obviously, information is protected. So they worry about it from that perspective. My
No,
thing
we
is they already got my information.
correct. And we are sadly, I mean, and my wife, to her credit, my wife is much more prone to, she worried, and I get it, dude. I was searching something today. Well, here's the funny thing. So I guess I screamed, and I was around people that screamed so much about CJ Stroud sucking yesterday that my feed today is nothing but CJ Stroud memes. All right. A while ago, something happened, and there's a new gym opening up in where I live in Sugarland, and looks kind of nice. Now I kind of go to the one I go to is the biggest one, been around forever, but it's expensive as all get out, and it's silly for me. The only reason I go to it is because they got weights, but everybody has weights, but they got a sauna. I like the sauna. I'm
Yeah.
an old guy. I like that, and none of the other gyms around town have a sauna, but apparently this new one they're building is going to have one. So I'm like all into that. I clicked on a couple things. Now, dude, all I
Right.
get are gym. So that's but
Yeah, and that's annoying, but I end up doing like, all right, I accept
yeah,
that, and I'll just go start clicking on some other random stuff to just
right.
throw it off.
So shame on you if you're going after college students for using AI, because that's like saying, hey, no, you're gonna write this paper by candlelight. You can't use a regular light bulb.
Right, right.
It's
And,
just it is
and
what it
you
is.
talk about LSU. They talk, everybody, oh, they spend all this money on athletics, but they need a new library. And I sit down and say, why? Why the hell you need a new library?
I mean, I'm sorry.
The people get mad at me because, I think Baton Rouge is the most overparked and over library community around.
Might be.
And we've got dedicated taxes that go to building new libraries and building new parks. There's libraries that have nobody in them. There's glorious architecture for the libraries. There's parks that nobody ever goes to.
Yep.
My thing for the library is, remember the early days of Netflix when Netflix was a video company? And you basically, it was like you borrowed the video. You paid a
Right.
membership fee. They sent you the video, you didn't send it back, they charged you for it. Just send a DVD. I say, why don't we warehouse all these books in a warehouse and create that type of thing? Whereas, if you want to borrow a book from the library system, here, they send it to you. You don't send it back, you get charged for it.
So many libraries in especially big cities, but even, I'm not saying the one near my house. I mean, I've got one probably 3 miles from me. I got a big library. It's where we vote. It's about the only thing the only thing we ever use a library for is that's where they make us go vote. But you talk to most people around the town, what are libraries for? Illegal stuff, illegal activities
Hmm.
going on in libraries. That's a
Right.
great place to go. People leave you alone, and porn. It's where
Yeah.
homeless people
Homeless
watch
people go
porn.
watch porn in the library and they can't tell them to not.
That's what
You want to do some nefarious stuff on the internet and you don't want your location tracked?
that's where you
Go
do
use
it.
a library
That's
internet.
that's where you do it. But closing. Next time you're in Houston, though, that's good. And there was somebody robbed on the campus of Houston the other day, man. That bothered me. You see
I
that?
saw that like at gunpoint or something.
But so this guy robs this young lady at gunpoint and has her cash app him some money.
Huh?
Hey, listen, I guess I don't know. Either I am not sophisticated enough or that robber. Now, granted, if you're robbing somebody at gunpoint, you already have sort of established yourself as maybe not a brain surgeon. But how do you get somebody to transfer electronically transfer you money that there's not a record of that, or like who you are.
Right. That's the whole deal.
I don't know. That one
Yeah,
struck
I
me.
don't know enough about all of those type of things, but I just know if I Venmo somebody some money or I PayPal somebody some money, yeah, I at least know where it went.
And I did point out a while. We never really talked about it. Don't have time again now. But shout out to Nichols State. It was what was Nichols was named the number one
Oh,
best
yeah.
value. Right, best value of public colleges, I guess, in
Louisiana.
and it ranked number 3, I think, on safety. What was it? And I was trying to think what's kind of funny, like, gosh darn it, here it is. So it ranked, it was the number 1 best value in college. 90. Now, here's one that I don't really care for. 97% of students feel confident they will find a job in their field after graduation. That don't tell me nothing, bro. You feel confident you're gonna no. Tell me how many people find a job.
Right.
Now, how many feel like they're gonna,
Not how many been lied to.
I'm feeling positive. But then the other one was it's the 3rd safest college campus in it didn't say who was the first, who are the safest college campuses. I don't know.
But I think that's easy to believe and easy to understand. Unlike many colleges, it's in a nice neighborhood.
I guess they didn't count the time that guy tried to kill somebody or hit somebody with a hammer. Remember that one?
Right. Or so the guy who tried to steal a golf cart in your backyard.
That's technically not on campus, although the house looks like it's on campus.
Right.
That's technically not a campus crime. And I'm guessing maybe that the guy, he was I think it was like an illegal alien, wasn't he? Like if I'm
the one
remembering
who
the
was beating
story.
the dude with the hammer. Heck yeah.
He tried to attack a girl with a hammer. That's when they came to us to get our cameras, and I got footage of that guy walking across our front yard and walking across the
North campus. I guess that's I don't know what they call that.
Can I tell you how often Casa del Martin has been called upon by the Thibodeau police? We got cameras, y'all. Don't be pulling crap in.
Right. Let me get narked on.
I don't got cameras all over the neighborhood, but hey, buddy, on that street, on that corner, you better walk straight. You better tighten up and walk straight. All right, everybody.
So if you're on campus being followed by a person who you think might harm you, you want to go ahead and pass in the front of that house because there'll be video records of it.
Run down Audubon. You got it. We'll catch it for you. All right, everybody. It's about that time to get on out of here. We're going to push the button, see if any of this stuff stuck to the magic tape up in the sky. We hope it did. If you want to reach us, as always, y'all, it's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com.
All right, here.
You did it.
Wherever here may be.
You did it. Pat yourself on the back. Whether you're looking at us, I look like I slept in what I'm wearing, which I think I might have. It's a cold day.
I almost wore the shirt I slept in, Dave, and it's like, well, let me go ahead and throw something on.
There you go. I
am wearing my pajama Christmas pants.
There you go. It is a beautiful, beautiful, chilly day here in both Baton Rouge and Sugar Land, Texas. Every week we tell you guys it's not a hint, suggestion, or we're not implying jack. It is a freaking mandate.
It's a freaking mandate, bro.
Get out there and live your best life. Go for it, man. Go for it. You dare you? Look, CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud's probably not having a great day.
Probably not. You think
but
he had a bad?
It's better than it was yesterday.
No, I don't think it is. Tomorrow will be a better day for CJ Stroud because they're going to be talking about the national championship game and there'll be other things. I think CJ's having his worst day today. He is a national conversation today. But that's the point. It gets better, yo. It gets better. If you had a great day, try to figure out why was it great. Let me see if I can do that again. And maybe you're not going to get to the level of greatness you were today, but just getting close.
That's right. You just got to try.
Compare it to the days that truly, truly sucked. Okay? And if the day you had today or yesterday sucked more than any day you can remember, okay, you got a new bar that's even lower to get over.
Right. If you don't know how to get there, go ask ChatGPT. It'll tell you.
Chat a grok. They'll spit out an outline for you. This is how to have a better day. All right. We're going to get on out of here, y'all. You guys have a fantastic week. Be careful out there. Enjoy yourselves. And we'll get back together next week and compare notes and see what everybody's up to. All right. Until then, love you, bro.
Back at you, man. So I don't know if this is in competition for the most Baton Rouge thing ever or capitalism at its finest. Saw a news report the other day on Rick's news station about a local funeral home that is offering discounts if your loved one was murdered.
Ladies and gentlemen, That is the most Baton Rouge thing
Yeah.
ever. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of young people are getting killed in Baton Rouge, and families, when you're young, you don't plan on dying. You might not have life insurance if you're 18, 22 years old. You might need some help getting that loved one buried. I couldn't tell if it was an infomercial or a news story. Your boys were in there with, not your typical looking, funeral home operators. No guy wearing a suit and tie. Just guys wearing like their Nike ski cap and stuff. And
I don't think you're going to put that.
Those were the proprietors of the said funeral home.
Not going to be in a Chamber of Commerce commercial anytime soon. Hey, relocate to Baton Rouge, and if anyone in your family gets murdered, discount burial services.
You got a discount.
You know what, Ron? Let's put a pin in that. That may be the most Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. What you gonna do?
It's over. Go home.